The just excitement to be here is palpable.
Look at that. So nice.
Hi, my name is Dragon and I'm autistic. As I usually state in my videos, I am not a psychologist. So all the information that I am putting out in these videos are from research that I have done online and the information that I have gotten from myself and my friends who are also autistic. The small videos that you just saw were examples of two different behaviors. My own behavior was showing that of sensory seeking behavior, while the video of my mother was showing sensory avoidant behavior. In this video, I'm going to explain more about those two things. So, without further ado, let's go. One thing you might not know about me is that not only in my family am I autistic, my sister is also autistic and my mother is also autistic. Though all three of us are autistic, we all act completely differently. My sister and my mom both display sensory avoidant behaviors, while I display sensory seeking behaviors. A few examples of that would be like my mom and my sister both tend to keep sounds to what they like, and usually it's very quiet. In my mom's case, it's very, very quiet. It's very relaxing and calming. Music boxes, Christian hymns, that kind of thing. My sister enjoys faster beat music, but it's also much quieter than what I enjoy. My sister and my mom also have trouble with smells, where my mother will just pretend it doesn't exist. My sister has to wear a mask over her face for when there's smells that she doesn't like. And both of them do not like tight clothing. They both like very, very loose fitted clothing. So that shows behaviors of sensory avoidant behaviors. Me, on the other hand, if you are anywhere near me when I am overstimulated or when I'm just around too many people, my headphones, if I don't wear my loops, they have the loud, blaring music, literally as loud as humanly possible. If I'm trying to do something like study or write the book that I'm writing, I will have loud, fast beat music in my ears at all times. I enjoy going to concerts, so I like the bright lights and the loud music. I enjoy dancing in raves, so once more, loud music, dancing, lights. I do not enjoy being touched by friends that I don't know, but I do like hugging my friends and being touched with my close friends. I also use things like pain stims or pain stim toys, which are like spicy foods and little ouchies. What is sensory avoidant behavior? Well, the dictionary describes sensory avoidant behavior as the active avoidance or withdrawal from certain sensory stimuli, like loud noises, bright lights, specific textures, or crowded spaces, because an individual finds them overwhelming or uncomfortable, often due to a heightened sensitivity or sensory input. When someone is experiencing sensory avoidant behavior, they tend to avoid the experiences altogether. This is because these experiences can end up giving you overstimulation, which will then pretty much ruin the entire day. It could also cause a meltdown or a shutdown if those things were to occur. So, what is sensory avoidant behavior? Now, I would like to preface this with sometimes, as an autistic person, you can exhibit sensory avoidant behavior, but other times you can also exhibit sensory seeking behavior. It's never just one or the other. It's, as everything with autism, it's a spectrum. It's going to be one day this, one day the next. I don't know what to tell you. But Some of the sensory avoidant behaviors that you could see as an autistic person or someone who knows someone who is autistic would be like avoiding hugging or even kissing, even if it's a family member. Sometimes when you're exhibiting sensory avoidant behavior, you could just not like touch at the moment. Me personally, I exhibit this sometimes. I do not like touching someone if I do not know them. And if something in my brain tells me that this person is not a good person, that I should not be talking to them, I also end up not liking touching that person at all. If we are not close, I'm probably literally all you're going to get is this from me. At least for the first few times that we meet. Once we get to know each other more, then this will probably turn into a hug. But like the first meeting, all you're getting is this. Another avoidant behavior would be not liking to be scared or frightened. Also, some people that are sensory avoidant are picky with their eating habits, which could also be ARFID, so I'm not really certain about this one that I found, but as it said, that is a sensory avoidant behavior because you're not liking the taste or the texture or whatever it is for that item. Another sensory avoidant behavior would be like not liking scratchy or tight or uncomfortable clothing. In some cases, when you're exhibiting sensory avoidant behavior, you would not like swings. And then the final one that I found for sensory avoidant behavior was to have trouble with the distance they are to people. I often think that I am really, really close to someone when I'm actually like all the way back here. So that's another sensory avoidant behavior. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have sensory seeking behavior. The dictionary describes sensory seeking behavior as sensory craving or seeking intense input. This is basically where I am at. I like loud sounds. I like lights flashing in different ways. I like to feel textures in any way, shape, form I can have. I would like the spiciest of foods. My stomach does not like the spiciest of foods, but my mouth likes the spiciest of foods. My sister often informs me that I am hyposensitive to sensory things. This actually shows a lot with me because I constantly have fuzzy blankets. I literally, to even function, need tight clothing, the tightest of pants, tight, like I'm being hugged myself clothing. So I am usually what is known as a sensory seeker. Let's look at some sensory seeking behavior. In the article that I will try to remember to list down in the description, if I don't, someone comment and I will figure out how to do that. They proclaimed to state that sensory seekers are often known as the troublemakers. This is usually because they are called way too loud. They're usually very needy and they have a lot of sensory needs of needing stim toys and to do more, even though we all need sensory anything to be able to function. A lot of the times a sensory seeking behavior would be to not understand personal space. When someone is sensory needing, they tend to be very close. They tend to hug you, they tend to touch you, they're very touchy. I do not show this behavior because I do not like to be touched. But in some times when someone is sensory seeking, even without asking, they will touch you no matter what, which usually needs a conversation of please do not touch me. A lot of times they have a high tolerance or an unusual, very high tolerance for pain, which is not always the best of things. If you do have a high tolerance of pain, I would suggest also talking to your doctor. Many of the things which I have actually heard about myself, their footsteps are considered very loud. That's because they like to hear the sound of their own feet, which sounds very condescending, but have you ever heard the sound of your feet? It's great. Another sensory seeking behavior would be that of jumping, hopping, and dancing. Many of the time, if you are exhibiting sensory seeking behavior, you do not understand your own strength. So many of the times that's where one of your children or your friends end up hurting people, because they don't realize that they are literally like grabbing onto you. Usually, once more, just use your words. Say, hey, that hurts. A lot of the times when you're a child with sensory seeking behaviors, you're considered to play a lot rougher, because you don't understand that you're playing rough. To you, that's just playing normal. But to somebody else, that could be playing rough. So another thing that I would suggest is just talk. Tell the person, hey, you're playing rough. Another form of sensory seeking behavior would be to use your mouth as a stim a lot. They like to chew, they like to put things in their mouth. Sometimes it's things that are not edible. When I was younger, I would go to anime conventions with my sister, and one of the things that I would constantly do with those plastic badges, put it in my mouth. It would be in my mouth. By the end of the con, it would not exist because I had chewed it to oblivion. I stopped doing that because I wanted to collect the badges. But yeah, half of my badges still have chew marks on them because I will start chewing them and then realize that I want to keep this, so I need to not chew it. So yeah, sensory seeking behavior has a lot to do with like oral stims, because you just put things in your mouth. As with everything, autism is a spectrum. You are not always going to exhibit sensory seeking behavior, just like you will not always exhibit sensory avoidant behavior. And though many psychologists do all of this research, really you're going to want to talk to whoever it is that you are trying to figure this out about. If you're trying to learn more about your kid, start talking to your kid more. They will know more about themselves than someone that doesn't know them. Just like if you're yourself, look in yourself. You know when you need a mask to cover the smells. You know when you need your headphones because it's too loud. You know when you want to be in lights. If you just know. So if you're trying to figure it out when somebody is sensory seeking or sensory avoidant for somebody else, it is better to ask them. But I hope with this information that you can now know the differences between sensory seeking behavior and sensory avoidant behavior. And I hope this helped you a little bit more. Bye!